Okay, we are live, Dave the Wave. We have an amazing guest joining us.
Yeah, we do.
Bruce Buffer, want to do it?
And we are live.
All right, Jordan Griffin joining us. How you doing, sir?
Good, and you?
Amazing day, another day of being alive. We're blessed. Okay, so you're on the UFC Contender Series. Our guy Mike was on there as well, Michael Davis. I find it extremely interesting. We interviewed Jeff Hughes as well, who was on at the heavyweight. Can you take us to the moment that you found out you were on Dana White's UFC Contender Series? Like, will you always remember where you were, the emotions? Take us through that moment.
I had just won my fight against Sean West on the LFA. I forgot what card it was. It was like LFA 40-something, 42 or something, 43.
Mm-hmm.
I was, oh shit, I need to get in that lane. I went in the back. I won my fight. I went in the back, and I was like, kind of like looking down. I don't know what I was looking down. I was just looking at the ground, waiting for the doctor. And Ed Soares walks up to me, and I just see his feet, and I look up, and he's like, "Hey, kid, nothing but good things are gonna come to you, and good luck in the future." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I really, I was like, "Oh, cool," And then my manager told me that, literally like 5 minutes later, my manager told me that I was going to be on the Contender Series. So
that's amazing. It's a dream come true, right?
Yeah, man. Everything happens for a reason, and it has been a pretty ridiculously unbelievable month or two. So,
and you're fighting out of Roufusport. Like, that's one of the premier MMA camps in the entire MMA landscape. So, you're going against Beast every day, right? And Tyron Woodley, you got the Pettis brothers. How is that like?
Oh, it's awesome, and and I've learned a lot over the years. I mean, I've been around for a long time. They even said it on Contender Series, like, you've been around for a long time, and people are like, it's funny because I heard a couple people like, yeah, so you move to Roufusport, you move over to Milwaukee, and you start, this and that. And it's like, no, like, I grew up here. I went to high school with Sergio Pettis. Not a lot of people know that. Like, I was on the wrestling team. Sergio and I were on the same wrestling team. So it's just like, I've been here this whole time, and I was sparring Anthony when I was 18, fresh out of high school, and I was sparring Anthony right before he won his world title, and I've really grown with Roufusport and with the whole team here in Milwaukee. So I'm just excited that I'm in the UFC, and I'm excited to see what's next and to step the training up and just smash it, just kill it.
That's awesome, and we love that camp. Both Pettis boys are just on fire. Sergio, probably in line with the title shot really, really soon. We love hearing stories, though, out of the camps. Sometimes we go to different gyms here in Florida, Orlando, Daytona, stuff like that, and we see wars. We see, like, the best fights that, of course, they're not on pay-per-view, they're not on Fox Sports 1, but we see the best fights in these gyms. Do you have, like, a cool or funny story or, like, an absolute war story that's kind of behind the scenes? Take our listeners behind the scenes to Rufus.
It's kind of funny because Paul said it when he was Paul Felder said it when he was commentating, and I loved it. I love that Paul's commentating, but he's just awesome at it. And he was like, yeah, Jordan Griffin, me and this guy's trying to finish fights. He's trying to finish fights in the gym. Me and him are trying to tear each other's heads off. Calling each other. He's like, he said something like, yeah, I called him a pussy. And it's funny because he just like, we were sparring, and it's like I hit him hard, and then he hit me hard, and then it was like the momentum build up. It's like, pussy! And we start going at it, and then like everyone's looking at us, and then afterwards, it's like we just tap gloves and walk away. And I'm just like, it's so cool, man. That's why I love MMA, is just because, like, you made friends if you can do that. And just be cool afterwards.
There's no sport like it.
Want to spar.
Yeah, there's no sport like it. If you throw like a baseball at a guy, you get suspended for like 2 weeks, and they get all upset with you. Like in MMA, you can literally fight and say, "Hey, brother, good job. Let's go get Dunkin' Donuts together now." It's awesome.
Yeah, and Paul's awesome. Like, I met up with him afterwards, and it was awesome to have Paul Felder there and have Anthony there and have Duke Rufus and have all, my team really support me. And and show me some love. So it gave me a lot of confidence going in. And I'll be completely honest, when I got the opportunity, I had been saying for a long time, it was like, I just need the opportunity. If you give me the opportunity, I'll execute. And I've done it every single time. So it's just like, I knew as soon as I got in, I was like, I'm going to be in the UFC.
That's amazing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So people were like, "Oh, are you sure did you ever think you weren't going to be in?" And I was like, "No, I knew I was going to be in the UFC."
That's the mentality you have to have. Jordan Griffin joining us out of Roufusport Gym. Don't forget to get locked in towards the end of the episode, just to give you a reminder, something to think about. For your weight class, your division, it's stacked. And like, where do you see the landscape of your division? Is there anyone in particular you would feel like you match up well or would want to fight?
Oh man, I'm looking for those exciting fights. I'm trying to break out of this habit right now where I tend to fight on the level of the guy I'm fighting.
Okay.
And then maybe I'll get tired, or not tired. Maybe I'll get hit a little bit, and I'll step it up. Like you even saw it in Maurice Mitchell. Like I told him, I was like, I think he fought a bunch of cans. So in my eyes, he's only like 1-1. He's not 11-1. And I really just I kind of played it slow that first like 2-3 minutes, and then he caught me with that good straight, and then I was like, okay, now it's time to step it up, and then I finished it right away. So I just feel like I've noticed that about myself. Like if I go against Anthony Pettis, then I'll go like I'm able to step it up. I'm able to keep up with him, and then I'll go with somebody else, and it's kind of like the same thing, but. I just want to be able to just shoot. Not actually like shoot in, but you know what I mean? I want to be able to throw in it. I just want to go. I want to go, and I really want to develop that style instead of starting off so slow. You know what I mean? So I just want to be a little bit more gun-ho.
Okay.
If that's saying that right. And and as far as like who I want to fight, I'm trying to think of like exciting fights. Like again, I told him I was like, I'm not running from anyone, and I don't plan on kind of floating throughout the UFC. You know what I mean? Like I don't want them to just forget about me and then just be like, oh yeah, let's throw Jordan Griffin a fight. I want them to be like, yeah, this guy is legit. He's the real deal. So I'm just thinking about exciting fights. I really like that what's his name, Zabib?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the way he fights. And I love the way Yair fights. And I mean, those guys are in like the top 15. So
yeah, those are two great fights.
Yeah. I think those guys are beasts. And I mean, as far as everybody else, I was looking at the lineup. As far as everyone else, if I could get any of those fights, in that top 10, I'm always down for that. But I think it's going to be one of those things where I'm just going to have to be ready. Like once I get cleared, once I get cleared to go back to training and everything, I'm just getting right back into it. I just want to be ready. If something pops up, I just want to be like, yeah, I'll take it. Show up, finish the fight, and then be like, who's next? So I feel like in a year or two, I'll really be able to work my way up to a title, and people are going to know who I am, and people are gonna like the Native Psycho. I guess people really like that. People really like my nickname. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
No, it's a good nickname, man. Hey, dude, everyone in the MMA, if they're a fan, they know who you are. That's what's so great about the sport. So many up and coming fighters, just like yourself. Talking about just popping up. How about December 15th, Milwaukee? UFC will be in the building. Is that something that you desperately want to fight on that card?
Yeah, for sure. That's what I want. If I could make a UFC debut here in Milwaukee, show up and execute in front of my people, that'd be awesome. I saw a December card in Australia, and I also saw a December card in Las Vegas. So I think either one of those would be amazing. Really shooting for and hoping for Milwaukee. I think it just makes sense,
Yeah, that'd be like a storybook type of situation. Jordan, okay. 2 hard questions I have for you before we get locked in. One is I've asked everybody this question, I know. So Conor, Khabib, who do you have winning that one?
I'm going to say Khabib.
Wow. I feel like I'm in rare territory here. I just feel Conor's going to knock him out.
It could go that way. It could really go either way, but I just feel like Khabib is smart, is a smarter fighter. I'm a little worried about when he just kind of walks in and lets people hit him like he's a bobblehead or something. You ever see that? Like his hands are like straight up,
yeah,
and or his head goes straight up. So it's like, man, if you give Conor your chin like that, even for a
exactly.
second, I feel like he's going to execute on that. But as far as like Khabib's aggressive grappling style, I just think it's overwhelming. You know what I mean? I mean, just even watching it, I'm like, holy smokes! And actually, it reminds me of like watching a Ben Askren.
Yeah,
my old coach Ben Askren. So I'm like, man, a Khabib Ben Askren fight would be crazy. But I don't even know if Ben Askren fights at 155. Then maybe they meet at 170. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I heard there's rumors about Ben talking to Dana White, maybe getting a UFC contract. I think he's the best fighter that's never fought in the UFC. Like, he just controls people, kind of like what you were just saying with Khabib. Ben is just stylistically a matchup nightmare for anyone in his weight class.
The nice thing too about Ben is that he's constantly evolving. I mean, he's people get at him about not finishing. It's like he actually has finished his last couple of fights, and he's like pretty much spanked those guys. Like, he just made it look easy. You know what I mean? So it's just I think he's not trying to reinvent the wheel. I think Ben knows he's good at wrestling, and his ground and pound is like ridiculous.
Yeah.
And adding all of his wrestling, like, he taught me so much stuff over like the last 4 or 5 years that it's really helped my game out, and I'm not a wrestler.
Yeah, and
so
he's fight smart. You're supposed to fight at what you're good at and what your opponent isn't good at. And also, okay, so Tyron Woodley's obviously your teammate. You train with him. We're pretty high on Darren Till as well, though. We think he's one of those guys that can take over the sport. How do you see that fight going?
Oh, I think I think it's going to be. I mean, Till and Thompson are literally like identical. At least I think. I think Till might be a little bit younger and he's more aggressive. But I think that might play a part. That might play against him. You know what I mean? I think he'll try to come forward aggressively, and he's going to get caught, or Woodley's actually going to be able to take him down and get on him. So I think Woodley has the power, has the speed. And has the wrestling background, but as you can tell in the last, in all of his fights, really, he doesn't. I mean, he uses it, but he likes to keep it standing, and he has the power there as well. So I think it's just about him closing that distance, and we'll see another win from Woodley, to be honest.
Nice, that's awesome. Okay, are you ready to get locked in?
No, how about the scoreboard?
I'm ready to get locked.
Hey, no, Jordan, I got something for you.
That's right, our locked-in theory.
Yeah, it's our big theory. It's our movement. We talked to John Fitch about it. We talked to a lot of coaches in the industry.
We're 15 for 15.
We are. We're undefeated.
Yeah.
We're the Khabib of the theory.
We think you're going to love this theory. We want to hear from your gym, your feedback. We're trying to get this to really push through.
Max and I, we're fans of the MMA, and we love the sport. We love UFC, and we always, want to tweak it and try to get it as best as possible. But in all sports, football, baseball, basketball, soccer, there's a scoreboard. People know what the score is. After each round, like the Demetrius versus Henry Cejudo fight, wouldn't that be amazing? After round 1, the judges, boom, blue corner 2, red corner 1. Okay, Demetrius is up 1-0.
They submit their score.
They submit the scores. You see it on the scoreboard. So now each corner knows where they're at. The fans know where they're at. So now in the 4th round, if Dimitri thinks, he might have thought that he was winning that fight. Maybe he's going for a knockout. There's so many different ways you can look at it. I just think to let the fans know the score of the fight. Do you like that idea or not?
I think so. I think that makes things interesting. I think that, besides fighters getting feedback from their coaches, like, hey, you lost that round, or hey, you won that round, I think it would play a interesting part in letting the fighters know too, if they're doing good or not, and then then maybe they'll pick it up or who knows, maybe somebody thinks they're winning and I'm just gonna coast, and then there's that guy, I'm just gonna coast, and then his opponent comes out of nowhere and catches him. So I think that would be I think that'd be interesting. It'd be kind of cool if it was like a game show and everybody in the stands could vote or do they already have that where you can like text and vote who's going to win?
That's pretty cool too.
Yeah, fighting.
That's pretty cool too.
Yeah, and then if you have the scoreboard up, then maybe you have the fans like, oh no, I disagree. I voted red corner. I just think people should be on the same page. I mean, Dave and I watched the same fight. I think DJ won. He thinks Cejudo won. There's no disagreement if the judges actually put up the score. And it's like, yeah, I can't lie. I mean, Demetrius Johnson couldn't have thought he won if it was 2-2, and he needed to win that 5th round. But yeah, we think that theory's going to go through.
Johnson won.
Me too. Me too. Thank you.
Hey, Jordan, I'm seeing you in the Octagon suit. I'm coming to Milwaukee.
I got my money on Jordan.
Oh, man. Very cool. All right, yeah, if you're ready, we're ready to get locked in, and the floor is yours, my man. Then after that, plug away. Tell everyone where they can find you. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, anything you want to get off your sponsors, anything like that. We appreciate you coming on the show. The floor is yours.
Awesome. Well, cool. In the future, I see Sergio Pettis being a multi division, 2-time division champion in the 125 and 135 pound divisions. I see him being a champion at the same time, taking out, clearing the roster. And then I also see Anthony getting his title back in the future as well, and that being like a big thing, like the Pettis brothers, both holding titles at the same time. So I see that happening. And then, of course, I see Native Psycho being the second Native American fighter to be a UFC champion. And that's after, I forgot her name, Nico Montero.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? The 115 pounder woman. But yeah, I see myself being, at least in the next 2 years, being the UFC featherweight champion. So I see Roufusport just blowing up in MMA, and
that is locked in.
Going to continue to grow.
That is terrific.
Yeah.
I'll go along those lines for my locked in, and I'll say it's like there's just certain camps that it's only right the UFC has a belt out of those camps. I think Pete White Boxing and MMA, they're on the come up. You'll see a belt out of there. Obviously, Greg Jackson is up there, but I definitely think Roufusport will always have a belt in the UFC. I just think you guys have such a good unit, so much like you figured out how it works, your guys' chemistry, you know how to win, whether it's it's Tyron Woodley beating Till, whether it's Pettis, the Pettis brothers. I definitely think you guys will always have a spot with the belt in the UFC.
Oh, that's a good one, cousin. Yeah. That's a good one. All right, my locked in. I think it's nice and easy. Till versus Woodley will happen again. This will not be their one and only fight. That's all I'm going to say.
Wow.
It will be a rematch somehow, some way in the future. Even if Woodley wins, Till gets off, wins 3-4 in a row, get back there. Or if Till gets a decision and then Woodley gets the rematch. I think they do have a rematch in the future for the 170-pound strap.
I think Woodley versus St. Pierre is going to happen.
Really? The super fight? Do you know some information we don't?
No. I just think it'd be a great fight, and I feel like George St. Pierre might play that Dominic Cruz role where just pop back in and fight for a title, and then it'll be back and forth. But personally, I don't think he'll pull off what he did. I think Woodley is gonna smash St. Pierre, and that's my prediction.
You got about 3 locked-ins that I love. I love all of them. Okay, people listening to this, they love you. They want to get behind the momentum. Where do they find you on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all your plugs?
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at jgriffmke. So it's JGRIFFMKE. And that's my Instagram and Twitter. And then you can find me on Facebook. My Facebook actually... it's all filled up, so you can find my fan page at Jordan Griffin MMA, and then you can also check out my website for upcoming fights, supplements I'm selling and T-shirts and stuff like that. Just anything going on with my social media, you can find all that stuff on my website. It's www.jordangriffin.life. So check that out, and don't be shy. Hit me up.
There's a good-looking guy named Max. I could be talking about myself. He just gave you a follow.
Nice.
Hey, if you got T-shirts on your website, I'm getting one. I'm a T-shirt guy. Like, some people are sneakerheads. I'm a T-shirt head. Everyone. I got my John Fitz shirt. I got my Michael Davis shirt. I'll definitely have that Native Psycho shirt for sure.
Nice. I wanted to make a shirt because I work at Midtown in Milwaukee here, and it's on like 56th and Capitol. But we always joke around like, you don't get these hands, you don't get these hands. You know? And I was gonna make a shirt like, get these hands. And somebody said I couldn't because a wrestler,
Braun Strowman. You can't take that. That's Braun Strowman.
Yeah, and I was like, motherfucker, dude. Like, you don't even fight.
Jordan, that guy is 6'10", 380. I don't know, man.
I got Jordan.
For the right. I'm going to fight him for the right for that shit.
I got Jordan Griffin with that one.
Hey, if Ronda can do the crossover and maybe Cain Velasquez, you're next. You'll be in WWE WrestleMania fighting Braun Strowman for the Get These Hands T-shirt. I love this.
Thank you so much for giving us your time. You're always welcome to get locked in anytime you want, and much success and luck to your future.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Jordan. Later, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah. See you guys.